Brother teacher once again. Hello, how are you doing? Beginning with this video and maybe the next several videos, many of you that know me, know of me, and who have experienced me here online, you know that this could potentially be expected. And many of you that may be new to the channel may not like what I'm about to say, period. But it doesn't matter. Let me say this to you. One of the greatest atrocities that any man could ever carry out in his or her life is that of being willfully ignorant. I said it, willfully ignorant. You don't study anything and you won't study anything because you are afraid of the truth. You can't stand the truth. So you would rather live your life in a fantasy world. That's more acceptable to you. It's more comfortable. It's a comfort zone, as it were. But I'm not interested in the comfort zone for myself, and I'm not interested in your comfort zone. I'm interested in helping you to liberate yourself from your own stupidity and your own ignorance. Some of you don't like it. Excuse me. It's okay. Now, in this particular video, I want to address the question. I want you to answer this question. Do you trust your doctor? When you go to the hospital for a physical exam, or if you are injured, or you need some medical assistance, do you trust the doctor or the medical institution, for that matter, hospital, clinic, whatever, the doctor? Do you trust them? If your answer is yes, my question on top of this is why and how? How can you trust someone that you don't know? You come to the office, as most of us do. We sign in for a regular appointment or at the emergency room, depending on what's going on with you. You sign in, you give them your personal information, your insurance information, and so forth, to see if you even qualify for medical attention or how much you qualify for it. Now, once they take your vital signs, they weigh you, sit you in a examination room for maybe a brief moment, hopefully, an individual comes in, usually wearing a lab coat, a white lab coat, male or female, a badge that says doctor, whomever. What seems to be going on today? What seems to be the problem? How are we today? What brings you to the emergency room or to the hospital today? These are the common phrases. These are the common questions that's asked to a potential patient. And then you tell them what's going on. But you've never seen that individual in most instances ever in your life before. So why do you trust them? Is it just by virtue of the fact that you know that that's a medical facility and you believe in the power of medicine? That you believe that they would do no harm to you? As a footnote, look up the Hippocratic Oath in your leisure as a footnote or message. You may see a certificate of when they finished and graduated medical school hanging on the wall. A graduate certificate, if you will. But that is not enough to make a determination as to the competency of that individual who's being called a doctor. And as it relates to you, some potential individual that may be examining you, cutting on you, sticking a needle in you, and possibly even performing surgery on you as well, and even prescribing you pharmaceutical drugs. And we know by the nature of pharmaceutical drugs that they are, by and large, synthetically manufactured. They're not natural, they're not real. They come with a whole laundry list of side effects and effects as a result of you taking them. It's just simply the truth. So, what do you do when you walk into a doctor's office to be examined, having medicine or medication prescribed for you, and even being diagnosed with certain conditions and or diseases when you don't know that individual? I'm not trying to beat a dead horse and prolong the time, but I really want you to think about this. You see, just because we've been doing something traditionally for all or most of our lives does not necessarily lend credence to it, does not necessarily make it right. Even though the masses might follow this. Are you following the masses in society? Or are you following your own logic based on science and based on the truth? Do you trust another individual with your body? And actually, where the rubber meets the road, we're talking about potentially our lives. So, in conclusion, I want to say this to you. First of all, I don't trust a doctor 100%. Do you trust the doctor 100%? I don't trust the doctor 90%. Do you trust the doctor at least 90%? What percentage point would you gauge your trust in your doctor? Be honest with yourself as to their competency or the fact that they may or may not harm you through prescription medication or even through surgery. You know, doctors do make mistakes. Doctors have made mistakes. Doctors are not perfect. So how much do you trust your doctor or a doctor? So here's the conclusion. We should learn and we should discipline ourselves to trust anyone outside of us, as least as possible. I'm not saying that doctors don't have a place. I'm not trying to discourage you from going to seek assistance or medical care from a hospital or a doctor. I'm not trying to encourage you to do that. I'm trying to encourage you to think and to realize that most of the things that happen to us are caused by us. And in most instances, they can be mitigated or resolved by us as well before we ever even have to think about going to a doctor. So ask yourself the question, how much of me do I take care of? How much do I know about me and my own physiology? And how much of me am I willing to maintain and to take care of so that I can only visit a doctor's office when absolutely necessary? That's it. And that's all. Do you trust your doctor? Still the question. So long.